because of suffocating from the smoke. So how to escape when they are wrapped up by the smoke is very important. So by what you said, smoke is even more dangerous than the fire itself. Yes, indeed. There may be a lot of hazardous smoke and gases, like carbon oxide, nitrogen oxide, which will hurt our respiratory system. And people may panic at the sight of the smoke. So it's very dangerous. Now the competition is already on. The first household has entered this house from the entrance. We don't know what is happening inside. The first family is already out. They have to find the exit in the darkness. It may be the first time for many people, so they don't know what's next. Me neither. The gases are floating upwards because of the weight. And below the smoke, there will be layers of oxygen. That's why we need to crawl and kneel down in order to inhale the oxygen from below. We would try our best to bend. Also, there is a questionnaire before entering. All of those questions are basic commonplace knowledge about fire protection. Let's interview one family out. You did it so quickly. How did you feel inside? It's really sticky and hot. Are you afraid? No. Is the breathing more difficult? Not really. So what did you do? I use a blanket to cover my nose, and I will crawl along the walls. Could you show me? Like this. Why are you crawling or bending along the walls? Also, I learned that we cannot use the lighter just in case there will be a secondary explosion. Who taught you that? I read the knowledge by myself. Why did you came? I want to learn how to escape in case of fire. Another family is out. Hi, morning. I saw you carrying your kid. He's too young. You get the protection from your mom. So what's your first instinct? To protect your child? Of course. I'm also a retired army man. So you know about the correct method of getting out. If you live in a building, you have to run upwards because the smoke is coming up, so you have to avoid going upstairs. You have to get down quickly. But can you be quick enough? We're using a wet towel to cover our mouth and our nose. Have you done such exercise before? Have you experienced it in the hospitals? It's a very good science promotion for the kids. In the kindergarten? Actually, when I was working in the factory, my employer taught us to use the fire extinguisher. And then I went to the kindergarten and participated in such activities. So why did you come today again? The kid is growing up. I just want him to learn more. Were you scared just now? He's too young to know. He found it interesting and funny, but actually, it's very scary. You have to follow your parents. Later on, I will get inside to show you what it's like. But since there will be smoke inside, so the view and our camera will be impacted. We will follow family number 5 inside. Let's get inside. I need a wet towel. It's totally dark, but there will be some arrows on the floor. They're showing us the way. I just hit the wall. As the kid said, you have to touch the wall and crawl along the wall in order to get out. I have to take a short break. When I was out witnessing the others escape, it seems easy, but not so easy when I was in. It's a different feeling. It's very choky, and also I got panic. It's all dark, so I hit the wall. Even though it's soft, but it scared me. I don't know what's beside me. I don't know what did I hit into. So now since I'm out, it's finally a relief. Mr. Yang, it's very choking inside. And as you said, smoke is more dangerous than fire. When the fire breaks out, many people suffocated because of smoke. Like you said, 80% of them stifled because of the smoke. So how to protect ourselves? This house is small. but even though it's very small, when I was in, I may hit things. If I'm in a larger space, I don't know how much distance shall I have to walk in order to get out. How to protect ourselves.
已经处理了，你再看，处理了，你再看一下声音有没有来。喂，现在有没有听到声音？各位网友，刚才。进去了，而且我也发现有人，其实我还是拿了一个帕子，但有人根本没有。
Very easy.
那我在拿了这个帕子。
Some of them didn't even fetch the towel. But even when I covered my nose with the towel, I still feel choked. So is it really protective? To some degree, yes. But it cannot protect you once and for all. It depends on how heavy is the smoke. So, what's your tip? It's better that you wear a protective mask for breathing. Without such professional tools, you have to use the wet towel to replace the mask. Usually in the hotels, they will put those masks in your rooms. But still, you cannot expose yourself for long to the heavy smoke even with the mask. It can only protect you for some time. Without the mask, how long can we last? Just 1 minute. That's your golden time for escape. If we live in high buildings, how to respond? You have to judge whether you can get out within such a short time period. If not, you'd better stay and wait for the rescue from others. Don't put yourself at risk through the heavy smoke if the time doesn't allow you. You better try to put your towel, particularly wet towel, against the door seams. It depends on how high do you live. Sometimes the staircases will be the safe place. But people have a bad habit, that is to open the doors and windows. So, if that is the case, the smoke will even flow to the staircases. It's not safe anymore. So staircases will not be the totally safe place. That's why we educate our civilians to close their doors and windows in case of fire. We have to start from ourselves to protect those green channels for life escape, like staircases. This is the instruction. You put the plug out and you put it on. It seems easy. I may buy one and put it at home, but we seldomly use it. Let's test someone to see if they know how to wear it. So you finished. I saw that some of you didn't fetch the towel, but I did. Do you think the towel is useful? Yes. Do you know how to wear the mask? Have you used it? No. Since you don't even have heard about it, so you won't be able to wear it, I guess. I've never seen this before. You have to prepare one at home. Have you used this mask? Never. Do you think you can handle it? I guess so. How about a try? You seem confident. You have to put it on first. If you keep stretching it, the air will get in. There is one plug inside. Can you breathe inside? Tighten the belt. I think I'm fine. Breathing is no problem. How do you feel? It's kind of stuffy, but it's more useful than the wet towel. The wet towel can only cover your mouth and your nose, but this mask is more effective. You can prepare one at home. Not just burned from wood or papers. It's more complex, so such a protective mask will be more professional. As we learned, maybe half a minute will be enough to suffocate in the heavy smoke. It's really important not to inhale those hazardous gases.
参加这个初赛了，初赛的获得者今天都是各个区县初赛的就是前3名，应该是这个都是这个获奖者，然后今天才来，有一定消防知识，但是面对这个呼气就是这样一个。
Some of them have the fire control knowledge, but people may have different opinions about how to use such a mask. You just said that you have to open the inside first. According to what I learned, we have to put it on first and then handle the outward plug. But according to Mr. Yang, inside it is just a filter. It's more convenient to handle the plug first before putting it on. You have to take out both plugs from inside and outside first before putting the mask on. So if we are wearing the mask, we can be able to wander through the more smoky areas. So how long can we last wearing the mask? I think about 10 minutes, but not too long. The filter is composed of cotton. We are bringing you this live show because we're seeing higher incidence of fire outbreak in the city areas, and it's more dangerous because of the density of population. 60% of the fire accidents are happening in the cities. What about the casualties? So the urban areas will take up more than half of the casualties in total, particularly the residential houses. You're from the fire extinguishing department, so you do a lot of fire checkups. Will you go to the shopping malls frequently? And what about those families? How to examine those families' conditions? We cannot go inside to examine the families. We have to do the science promotion. We can give some education, give some alert to remind them and build their awareness of fire protection. For example, today's activities is to raise their awareness. Now let's get back to the contest. It's a simple test. Many families are taking it as a game. They're putting on smiles on their faces when they're out. But if it's the real-life scenario, we have to stay composed and calm to handle these situations. We have to be fully prepared in order to ensure the safety of our family members. How long have you been working in this career? It's 10 years. So based on your 10 years of experience, what do you think is the biggest danger for the fires breaking out in families? There are 2 big risk factors. One, from home appliances. For example, the cook is another one. So the kitchen and home appliances will be two risk factors. How shall we prepare our civilians? If it's home appliances, we will warn them to stay away from those high-power home appliances. And in the kitchen, you have to stay alert about fire. If you have to leave the kitchen, you have to put out the fire and the gas tank. Also, in the staircases, you cannot set aside some explosive materials or block the staircases. So it's better to be as careful as possible. The families are gathering here for the second contest. There will be a timer. We will also examine if they did it according to the requirements, as well as the speed. They will have to carry the water over there. The kid, the mother, and the father will respectively do this. Will you be in? I will. How old are you? I'm 62. You seem in good shape. I agree. So, why did you came? Because my grandson's parents are working elsewhere. So I'm here with him. I want him to learn from such activity. Do you think such activities will be useful for you? Of course. The kids will learn a lot about how to escape fire. Have you experienced a fire? I did. Once. What's the occasion? It happened in my kitchen. My pot caught fire. You're number 7. Wait for your turn. He seems to be in a hurry. It's a fierce competition. The fathers are running fast. Why are we taking the unit of a family for this game? We want the whole family to be involved, and everyone can learn. And then the knowledge will be spread throughout the society. As I said, the incidence of fire accidents in the households is very high. So, get back to the topic. You had experienced one case. So how did you handle the fire? I put the pot lid on to extinguish the fire. So I know something about fire control. So that's the grandfather of the kid. So try to fetch as much water as possible. Then when we finally reach the position, we can use enough water to put out the fire. And there will be such a threshold. You have to pass the threshold. So your grandfather told you to fetch as much water as possible. Fight on.
那这个比赛呢，除了要接力运水到终点的时候，还会模拟发生一个火灾，会有一个
So the family members will have to carry the water one by one, and in the destination, they will have to handle the emergency to extinguish the fire. Now let's follow this kid to experience one tour. You carry the water, and we will run after you to see how your grandpa put out the fire.
看小朋友已经着急了。
He seems to be in a hurry. How many families applied? In total, there are 21. 60 people. So that's for the final game. In the first round, we have hundreds of people. So they volunteered. Yes. The grandpa is very fast. That's what he was talking about. There is a scale on the bottle, so they have to fill this bottle. Bravo! Your grandkid fetched a lot of water. 3 rounds is enough. Be careful of the smoke. I was slower. I cannot run as fast as the youngsters, so I have to rely on the full water from my grandson. I came here so that my grandkid will learn a lot. We seldomly bumped into such occasions, so we took him here. Have you used the fire extinguisher before? No, it's my first time. I already learned something about how to use it from the fire extinguishment, the firefighters. What if it's a real-life scenario and you don't have a teacher to go to? Since today I already learned, I will know how to handle the scenario later. It's not that hard, right? No, it isn't. So the knowledge is really important. You have to accumulate as much knowledge as possible in case it happens in real life. Bravo for you. Many people haven't used the fire extinguisher before. Not everyone knows how to do. People used to ask me how to use it, and they wonder if it's okay to just throw the extinguisher into the fire and the job is done. Actually, it's very easy. There is a pressure scale. If it's pointing at the green area, it's normal pressure. If it turns to the red area, the pressure is up. Now let's take this one.
灭火器其实很常见，在我们的小区里，在每个居住的小区里都会有灭火器的，但是
You see? Now the arrow is pointing at the red area. That means there is no pressure within the extinguisher. It's useless. So we have to examine all the fire extinguishers to see if the arrow is pointing at the green area. And it's very easy to use. There is a lock. You just plug it out. We have 3 kilograms and 4 kilograms of fire extinguishers. If it's 4 kilograms heavy, then there will be a tube, a soft tube. You could hold the soft tube to spray. I heard a lot of reminders saying that stay away from the fire. What's the safest distance? 3 to 5 meters. If you're standing too close to the fire, you may be swallowed by the fire. The fire may explode. Also, you have to watch the wind direction. If the wind is breezing towards us, then the powder from the fire extinguisher may be blown towards our faces. So to wrap up the knowledge, we have to watch closely the arrow to point at the green area. That means it's ready to usage. And also, when it's ready to use, we have to hold it and stand at the right wind direction. We have to stand upwind. Otherwise, we may be hit by the powder because of the wind. Are all fire extinguishers looking the same? ABC fire extinguishers can put out different forms of fire. If it's only composed of vapor, and also there is one other extinguisher composed of CO2. For example, the computer rooms will be equipped with extinguishers composed of only CO2. So, are the different fire extinguishers used the same way? There is going to be one lock, and you press this button. Fire extinguisher will be useful for small fires, but if there is a secondary fire, or if it grows bigger, it's not that useful. When it's late, the fire extinguishers cannot help. For the common people, how to tell the difference? Within the first several minutes of fire outbreak, when the temperature is not high enough, that's the best opportunity to put out the fire with the fire extinguisher. But then when the flames grow bigger, the fire extinguisher will be useless. You have to call the police for the professionals to rescue. So what can the common people do? As I said, firstly, extinguish the fire with the fire extinguishers in the first several minutes. That's the best time to kill the fire. They can call the police then. So should the civilians just escape instantly? He's standing too close. The fire was almost rushing to his face. The one wearing green didn't know how to use the fire extinguisher. That's true for many people. We have to do larger scale of science promotion. It seems easy though. Now it's just a simulation. When it's real life, they will get more anxious. They will be very nervous, and maybe mistakes will happen more frequently than today. Many people just throw the fire extinguisher into the fire. So that's why such a daily activities and training will be more important to prepare them. So that's it for this game. The families seem to enjoy this experience, but a lot of mistakes were exposed through such training. For example, how to use the fire extinguisher, they are not very proficient.